Hello. I'm gonna make this as quick as possible, as concise as possible. I want to first of all let you know the intentions of this video. This is in no way intended to try to sway anybody's system of faith. This is not to come as a I know more than y'all niggas know, so listen to me type energy. It's not coming from a place of ego or anything like that. But I got a few points about some of the events that happened today that I want to talk to the collective about. And honestly, this video might not be for you. Some of this stuff I'm gonna say might rub you the wrong way and it might not resonate. And if not, that's cool, because I'm not talking to you. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. So if you ain't feeling what I'm saying, I'm not talking to you. And that's okay. That's fine. All right. So a lot of stuff was happening during, I would even say, 2018 to 2020. A lot of people have been getting tapped on the shoulder spiritually by God or spirit or whatever you choose to call God, right? Some folks say universe, whatever. We know who you talking about. There's been this talk of the whole superpower thing that was happening on December 21st. And a lot of folk was, making a lot of jokes. Oh, I'm going to be able to do this, whoop, 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 blah, blah, blah. But cats don't really understand what that was about. But here's the thing. Some people did get superpowers for real. I know y'all used to hearing me joke and be funny and everything. But it ain't even so much that people got new superpowers. People had time to focus on what they were supposed to focus on, which I've been talking about on Facebook and Twitter all of 2020. Get your family in order. Any kind of generational trauma you got, undo it. Talk to your elders. Find out your family history. Forgive yourself for letting yourself down. Forgive your mama. Forgive your daddy. Forgive your baby mama. Forgive your baby daddy. Any kind of issues you got with people in your family and within yourself, that was the time to resolve them. And I could have done more to kind of push people on that train, but I didn't, because I wasn't really confident in my abilities and gifts, and but beyond that, I wasn't confident in standing on that publicly. But straight up and down, I got some spiritual gifts for real, and a lot of y'all do too. And a lot of people who are not acknowledging these gifts, it will manifest itself in anxiety, depression, promiscuity, overeating, drinking, drugs, because people know they different out there, but they are refusing to lean into what's making them different, what's making them stand out. It's niggas who've been dealing with certain things their whole life, whether it be getting bullied, or you the black sheep of your family, or everybody around you think you crazy, or you know what I'm saying? If you one of them people who had a life where it was just unnecessarily hard, unnecessarily fucked up, I might be talking to you. If you have crazy dreams about shit and then it happened 2 years later, I might be talking to you. If you have deja vu that's a little bit more than deja vu, I might be talking to you. You might be one of them people who walk into a room and you can already tell everything that happened in the room before you walk in it. Before you open your mouth. I might be talking to you. I'm only talking to these people and to the people who know people like that, who listen to them, and to anybody else this resonates with. So now that that's out the way, I'm doing this real methodically, because I don't usually talk like this. Niggas got gifts. I've discovered mine is what they would call clairsentience, where it's just certain things you know. and clear cognizant to a degree where you just kind of you can sense and feel energy. My whole life I thought I was extra sensitive. I thought it was a hindrance. You know what I'm saying? I thought this was a bad thing to be. You know, when I was younger, my feelings would get hurt very easily, or if I was rejected, it would hurt me really, really bad, and I would take on that shit more than other folk would take it on. I remember going to the fair when I was 5 years old, right? And you know they got the dunking booth where you throw a ball, you hit the little thing, and the clown fall in the water. We know what they used to be. That's a whole nother conversation. I remember walking with my parents at the Mississippi State Fair, and the dude sitting on the dunking booth was talking shit to one of the fair goers throwing the ball, and I felt like the dude was talking to me. Now he wasn't, because I wasn't over there. I was just walking in the crowd, but I hear this voice. You throw like a girl. You can't hit me. Yada yada yada. Woo woo woo. All these disses, and I was like, and my parents noticed I was very, very, very upset. Face was red, you know, fist balled up, crying and mad. And they're like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Man, this dude over here talking about me." And they thought it was funny, like, "Jay, he not talking about you." But in my mind, I literally felt that energy coming from the loudspeaker, and I absorbed it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that was called being an empath because I was only 5. But that's what it was. I literally was so fucking mad at this nigga who not even talking to me, because I absorbed that energy. So you live and you learn how to be around energy as an empath, but not you learn how to observe rather than absorb, right? So I ain't really understand how to do that shit till 2020. 2020, I can now not take shit personally no more. But it took 33 years for me to figure that out. The Jesus year, right? So anyway, point one, some of us got gifts. Some of y'all trying to fuck it away. Some of y'all trying to drink it away. Some of y'all trying to smoke it away. Some of y'all trying to eat it away. Go on, lean into what makes you different, because you have a place in this proverbial new earth that they talking about, or this new age, or whatever people talking about, right? I say all that to say, today we seen what happened with at the Capitol with these Trump supporters storming the Capitol, and you know they mad, and we see the police letting them in. You know what I'm saying? Police taking selfies with niggas, and it's one of these things where it's like people are outraged, and I get why they're outraged. But what I want people, I literally got all my shit on a little, it's cute ass notepad. But I want people to understand that, I want black people specifically, so-called black people, because that's a whole nother conversation. But I want y'all to understand, this is not your fight. This is not your fight. And the mistake we make is we have no understanding of energy, or how it is manipulated, how our energy is manipulated, right? We don't understand this whole racism thing for real. We think we get it, but we don't get it. We see shows like Lovecraft Country, and we think it's just a TV show where these people are literally doing magic, and they have to use black bodies and black blood to make these spells and rituals work. Well, guess what, my nigga? It's the same shit here. When they killed George Floyd and they stood, had their knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, and the whole world was mad. For months, you got Uber Eats giving out black discounts for black-owned businesses, and it seemed like the whole world was changing, and the NFL got rid of the Redskins, and the NBA protested for one game, and you know, all this shit, and it seemed like shit was changing. And you look, and it's like all these months later, every person who helped kill George Floyd is out of jail. The dudes who killed Breonna Taylor, they out of jail. It's another brother who named, that's a damn shame. There's so many that I can't think of everybody's name. But point being, ain't nobody get punished for this shit. And we look up and see, we had got to a point politically where a lot of black folk was like, man, you know what? America, do what the fuck y'all want to do. Do what you want to do because y'all gonna do what you want to do anyway. But what happened was our energy was used to create this this blue wave, right? So you remember when everybody was running for president, we was looking and Kamala was a contender and Joe was a contender, and off rip the black community was like, bro, we ain't fucking with Kamala, we damn sure ain't fucking with Joe Biden, because that nigga tone was outrageous, and Kamala had said so much. I don't even say so much. She had basically said she ain't gonna do shit for black folks specifically. And that niggas ain't really take that too well, and niggas ain't really trust her because she was married to a white man, and you know, amongst other policies in California. And it's really not a political thing. I'm just saying what it is. In some kind of way, we ended up with Joe Biden and her, right? And this brings me to my next point. Black folk, we get black folk and people who are on a certain frequency. Because I really don't want to exclude people because it's about race, but it really ain't. Like it is, but it's more so about a frequency thing. It just so happened that black folk are on a higher frequency, compassion-wise. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, we'll get to that. But we have an issue with celebrating too quickly, right? Joe Biden won, and everybody is happy and lax because we don't really have an idea of what this means. The same way when Obama won twice, we didn't have an idea of what this what this meant. This creates a white lash, right? Trump is literally the offspring of Obama's. There would be no Trump if there was not an Obama. I'm not blaming Obama for that. I'm saying the way white supremacy works, white supremacists they like elephants. They never forget. So we all happy and on social media dancing and making all these jokes about Joe Kentavious Biden and Kamala, you know what I'm saying? Or we did the same shit with Obama and we make all these super duper funny black jokes, which are hilarious. But at the end of the day, these folk are still politicians. Whether they be black, brown, gay, transgender, bow-legged, pigeon-toed, they still politicians. And most of them ain't really trying to do shit for real. I ain't saying don't vote at all. I'm just saying, I ain't even talking about voting. I'm saying quit getting so happy. Because for 8 years while niggas was happy, these folks was planning this shit you seen today. This was planned. That ain't nothing that happens overnight. But because we are an emotional people, it ain't nothing to be ashamed of. It's what connects us to God more. That's why that's why we walk how we walk. That's why we can do no-look passes and we can do the heel toe and all this other shit. It's that emotional melanin connection that we got to source or God or the universe or whatever you choose to call it. And I'm only doing all this shit because this is my first video like this. But I want to tell black folk, quit getting so excited over this little shit, because I seen Van Jones talking on TV today. He was like, is this a beginning of something or the end of the Trump era? And me using my spiritual gifts, I have wonderfully clear understanding that this is the beginning of some shit. You gotta remember, when Obama won, police was shooting niggas like duck hunt. That type shit. And it didn't stop for 8 years. Because There's always, everything in the world has a balance, but we've lost our sense of this shit. If you get a whole bunch of blue shit going, police brutality usually go up, and that shit kind of evens it out. That's just how shit work. When white folk have the upper hand, racist white folk have the upper hand, they kind of back down because in their mind they like, we up right now. So I'm talking 15 minutes into this to tell you, if you ain't got no gun yet, you're behind. If you don't have a concealed carry license yet, you're behind. If you don't have food and water, you're behind. If you don't have a prayer, meditation type ritual, whatever, whether it be you go to church and you pray, or you a Muslim and you do your 5 joints a day, if you ain't got no type of spiritual practice right now that you are actively on, you're behind. If you are severely overweight, you're behind. If you don't do things intentionally to strengthen your immune system, you're behind. If you consume yourself with fear-based media, you're behind. You're behind, you're behind, you're behind, you're late. Once again, I might not be talking to you if you can sit up and watch TV all day, and if coronavirus got you scared out of your mind, and you sitting on your back porch with a mask on. You know, I ain't saying don't wear your mask, but damn it, you supposed to get some air, my nigga. You supposed to get some sun. You supposed to get some water. You can go outside and breathe, and then wear your mask in the grocery store. You ain't got to be out here licking doorknobs and shit with no mask. I ain't saying go do that, but air is important. Vitamin D, sunlight is important. And the people who were changing their diet, who was talking to God, who was researching, who was reading their Bible and other books, who was asking God to show them the truth, who was cleansing their body, who was taking care of their temples, these are the people who got these so-called superpowers. If you've been eating lemon pepper wings and Hennessy and all this other shit, I ain't saying you ain't got them, but it's going to be harder for you to tap into that because your body is not in a clean state. Let's see what else I want to say. So just be very careful what's going on right now. I see a lot of folk on social media who are mad and upset and pissed off, and I can't believe this, and if they were black, then so, of course. Yeah. But your energy is the currency. These are rituals to use your energy for somebody else's greater good. But we don't understand how that shit work. They told us that's witchcraft and shit. But when they get niggas mad, they always turn up. The George Floyd shit, we did all niggas protesting in Poland and Ireland and everywhere. All that to let them folk out of jail. All that to let them folk out of jail. How? How, Sway? How? Because you know what it did? What it did do was use all your energy, and they took that energy and said, and that's why you need to vote Democrat, because so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. Now, am I stupid enough to say, hey, Trump should be in there twice? No, but here's the thing. For niggas, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, you was already getting shot in the street. You already have the income gap that's steadily getting bigger between us and white folk. Like, if you get pulled over and you're scared you might die that day, depending on how the police officer feels, you're losing. And I don't care who the president is. A lot of shit happens more in democratic states and cities, and you get what I'm saying? I mean, does that mean our Democrats are bad? No. Does that mean our Republicans are bad? No, but this America, bro, this shit built on racism. Ain't no America without doing what they did to us. Ain't no America. There is no home of the brave, land of the free, or land of the free home. There's no land of the free, home of the brave without the blood, without everything that happened to us, without the women hanging from trees and getting their stomach cut open and the baby fall out and they step on the baby, or when they put the baby in the ground and they try to knock the baby head off, or throwing babies to alligator. Like, that's what makes America. That's the reason why people from all these other nations can come here and live a good life, except for us. is that did that. But we don't really have an understanding of that, and we think the game plan done changed. It's still the same playbook. We need an understanding of that so that we don't get overly excited. Because while we were so excited about Obama, they was planning this shit. While we was excited about Brother Warnock, they knew they was gonna do this shit today. But niggas out there doing the cha-cha slide, eating chicken sandwiches and shit, like, bro, this is not the time, my nigga. When they quiet, they being evil, right? It ain't even about white, it's about frequency. When they planning, nigga, you need to be planning. So this is why I said it was important earlier in the year. And once again, I apologize for not staying on that shit, because it felt weird. I be having dreams about, like, I had a dream about coronavirus in August of 2019. And I just thought it was a crazy ass dream. That's kind of shit I'm talking about. Niggas out here with these kind of gifts and getting fucked up every weekend because it's something inside them and they just can't really put their finger on. It's time out for that shit. It's time to take off the spiritual training wheels and really connect to God for real, for real. Niggas think connecting to God is going to church and taking communion and all this other stuff. Like, when you got a real relationship with your creator, that shit hit different. What else? Premature excitement. Yeah. Deifying black faces in high places. That's what I meant to. That's what that last rant was supposed to be about. But long story short, Joe Biden is not going to save you. Donald Trump is not going to save you. Kamala Harris is not going to save you. Warnock is not going to save you. It's up to you to save yourself. That's what the story about Jesus is really about, nigga. Like, that's another conversation. All right. So what we need now, and once again, this is not to everyone. This is to the people who this resonates with. I cannot stress that enough, because some of the shit I'm saying gonna rub folk the wrong way, and if it rub you the wrong way, I'm not talking to you. Straight up. But what is needed right now for the collective consciousness is radical unity. But unfortunately, there's been so many labels and things thrown at us, so many things that have been weaponized. The black man versus black woman debate. Are there ain't shit niggas? Yes. Are there ain't shit black women? Yes. But ultimately, we need each other. Are there ain't shit gay niggas? Yes. Are there ain't shit lesbians? Yes. But we still need they gay ass too. Like, this is a collective thing. This ain't even about, like, whether somebody agree with the shit you got going on or not. Like, if you gonna live a certain way, or if you gonna live out a certain truth, the same way I'm living out this spiritual truth of mine, there has to be a certain inner confidence that you have to where other people's opinions on how you live won't shake you. You got to believe in that shit enough. If you only like girls in wheelchairs, niggas gonna talk about you. But if that's your truth, you're gonna have to stand on that shit. And just because I'm not attracted to girls in wheelchairs, and I don't get that shit, and I think it's a little weird, shouldn't have nothing to do with how you feel about girls in wheelchairs. That's the kind of confidence you gotta have. But what happens a lot of times is niggas get in these other communities and shit, and because the same way, just like church hurt, right? Niggas go in on church all day because something happened to you and them niggas made you feel not at home at church. A lot of our gay brothers and sisters do the same shit, and they feel like they can kind of run to this community to save them from the niggas who called them the F word in middle school, from folk who called you a dyke in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't get it, but I get it. But we need radical unity. So that's going to mean that niggas going to have to lay off the jokes a little bit, and that's going to mean that some other folk going to have to quit being so sensitive a little bit, because all we got is each other right now. That's all we fucking have. And as crazy as this shit seems, we have to take responsibility for the way of the world. Black people, indigenous people, which is what we are. We're indigenous to every place on this earth. We are responsible for the frequency of this planet because we was the first ones here. And the ball has been dropped. The consciousness has been lowered. It ain't all the way our fault, but it's our responsibility to fix it. Just like trauma. I can't help it that you was abused as a child, and that shit was fucked up. And it shouldn't have happened. But it's your job to fix it. It's your job to go to therapy. It's your job to do that work. It's unfortunate and it's not fair, but it is your duty. It is our duty to raise the vibration of this planet. And that's the war that's going on right now. This is a frequency war, right? These folk who stormed the wherever they stormed in D.C. today, these motherfuckers got a different kind of fight because they're fighting for something different. They are fighting for genetic survival. Because when Tyrone fucks Betty Ann, he make another Tyrone. That's dangerous. That's very, very dangerous. They understand that they are thinking 30 years ahead. They see the numbers where they're talking about, oh, white folk gonna be the minority in America in this year. Woo, 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 woo. They see this shit happening. Siri just popped up out the blue. They see this shit happening. And it's, I'm sorry, that threw me off. They understand what they're up against. They're fighting for genetic survival. So they are ballsy. Way more ballsy than we are when it comes to fighting for our freedom, right? Because even if Trump win again, you know what I'm saying, niggas still got an iPhone, you know what I'm saying, still get some Jordans or some Yeezys, still get some pussy here and there. Niggas ain't really tripping because we kind of thinking this like, as long as my world's straight, shit was already fucked up. If I can dodge the police, have a decent job, have my car, have my phone, have some shoes, get some sex here and there, you know what I'm saying? Niggas think everything is all good, but it's our responsibility and we done fell off on that. Once again, I ain't talking to everybody because if this ain't resonating with you, you should have been left this video. This ain't for you. It's for the people this resonates with. So I say all that shit to say, be careful how you spend your energy. It is your ultimate currency. How you spend your time, the people you are hanging around. If you have not talked to your family, I beg of you, if you don't know your daddy, find that nigga and find out what kind of person he is. If you don't know your mama, you don't talk to her like that, find out what kind of person she is. What kind of childhood did she have? What was she going through when she had you? You dig what I'm saying? All these things affect who you are. And all these things also can give you plenty of clues into what your special gift might be. You might have had a granddaddy who was a medicine man, right? But they used to call that shit a witch. Using herbs to heal people was demonized. They called it witchcraft to be able to find some plants and to make a snake bite go down. They call that shit the devil. And that's what they've done with all of our shit. And they are using all that shit against us right now with these rituals like this today. So please, only if it resonates, because if it don't, I ain't talking to you. Unplug. Talk to your family. Forgive them. Forgive your mama. She ain't know what the fuck was going on. She was young. Forgive your daddy. He ain't had no money at the time. He ain't have a daddy. You know what I'm saying? Forgive your baby daddy. That nigga got unresolved trauma. Forgive your baby mama. You know something wrong with her ass. You know something wrong with her parents. You know the kind of household she came from. Why you blaming her for that shit when you know exactly where she came from and she just a product of that? Forgive these people. Forgive yourself for allowing yourself to be in that situation, to be caught up in some dumb shit. Because at this point, we need each other, and the Democrats ain't gonna save you. The vaccine ain't gonna save you. Trump damn sure ain't gonna save you. But what Trump did do, which I'm grateful for, woke a lot of niggas up to what's going on. And that is the fact that we are fighting literally a spiritual war with physical properties. That's all I got for the collective. This is my first video. This is my coming out spiritual party. First time saying some shit like this. If it offended you, shit, I don't know. It just did. But that's not the intention. I love you. Peace be with you. And I will start doing this more often. Sorry it took so long, because I honestly should have been doing this shit a long time ago. Thank you.